Judy Woodruff has more now on a new partnership in Oakland, California, seeking to bring communities across the country together through service. It's part of her series, America at a Crossroads.
This ear-splitting welcome during assembly time at the Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School in West Oakland was for some very special guests.
What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. That's the energy I'm talking about. That is why we are so excited to be here.
Standing next to the son of the civil rights icon, Steph Curry, the four-time NBA champion for the Golden State Warriors, is about as big a celebrity as you could ask for in this city.
Y'all have fun at school? Y'all have fun at school?
6 years ago, around the time the Warriors left here to move to San Francisco, Curry and his wife, Aisha, decided they couldn't walk away from this community with so many in need. They started their Eat, Learn, Play Foundation, supporting children's well-being through access to healthy food, literacy, and play.
These are the pillars and the foundation of what makes a child have a happy, thriving, healthy life.
The Currys were here to announce a new partnership with Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea Waters King's Realize the Dream initiative, a nationwide call to action to mobilize 100 million hours of service by 2029, the 100th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth.
That's 100,000 hours right there.
The partnership pledges 100,000 volunteer hours here, a city where 1 in 4 African Americans and 1 in 5 Latinos live at or below the federal poverty line.
It is very surreal to kind of be here in this moment, planting our flag in Oakland, to have a moment here at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, and just the idea that we're a part of not only a local movement, but a national, hopefully global movement of what service and volunteerism really means, and following the legacy of Dr. King.
Coretta Scott King visited here way back in 1972, so this school is particularly important for the King family.
One of the things Dad used to say is everyone can be great because anybody can serve.
The school is the 21st that Eat, Learn, Play has transformed here in Oakland. When we visited last week, there was a book giveaway. A new playground and basketball court were being built, new murals painted, and new gardens planted. Roma Groves Waters has been principal here for nearly 17 years.
Do you see a tangible difference that the Currys are making in Oakland?
Oh, yes. The way they transform playgrounds, they make kids want to come to school. So it helps with the chronic absenteeism. It helps with uplifting the kids' spirits. As they're walking around, they can walk around with something nice for a change.
Known as the West Coast Center of Blues Music, West Oakland hosted singers like Billie Holiday and Aretha Franklin. It's also where the Black Panther Party got its start. But today, the seaport, highways, a subway system, and Oakland's main post office have displaced many in this historically black neighborhood and contributed to high rates of childhood asthma in a place that offers few options for healthy food.
In 2025, we're still living in the area of the have and have-nots. Like, some people have things and, a lot of the kids here don't. But we bring the joy to the kids when they come to the school.
That joy could be seen on the students' faces as they soaked in the celebrity guests who told us they love the smiles but are here to make a difference in the long run.
It doesn't happen overnight, but the idea that you can change, the school experience for a generation of kids, like, it's a very lofty goal. But it's something that we're committed to, not just financially, but with a clarity of thought about what impact really looks like and how to measure it.
At the nearby Bethlehem Lutheran Church, people gathered for a fireside chat with the Kings and the Currys. Andrea Waters King said her 17-year-old daughter inspired their most recent call to action, concern for the world she would inherit.
At a time when we seem more divided than ever, at a time when services that are so needed in our communities were being cut away. We wanted young people to find themselves.
Her husband reflected on how his parents persevered in their own turbulent times.
I think my father and mother, throughout their lives, if there was if a person was 90% unfortunately bad, Dad and Mom would focus on that 10% good and work to extract that out of the human being. And so this process, this project, helps to extract good out of everyone.
But he suggests even for him, it's not an easy task in this particular moment.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Since taking office in January, President Trump has pledged to end what he calls the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, saying that our country will be woke no more. In a backlash against the 2020 protests over the murder of George Floyd, DEI programs have been dismantled across corporations, higher education, and the federal government. And Trump has sought to roll back protections offered by the 1964 Civil Rights Act, a landmark law and monumental achievement by Martin Luther King Jr.
If Dad had lived, we as a nation and world would be on a different trajectory. Our challenge today is still working to get to that different place. As a person who had a front row seat for the modern civil rights movement, it is really terrible to be at this juncture. But my mom used to say something that was so interesting. She said, freedom is never fully won. Each generation must engage to actually extend and sustain freedom. So I was hoping she'd be wrong. Said, Mom, well, but what you said is just so true. I see it, and it's reinforced.
I don't know anyone that has lived through the past few years that has not felt that they were touched by chaos. This is a way for us all to come together and build community. I think that there is a thirst, there is a desire, there is a yearning for us all to find something that we can agree on.
While all the noise and the politics might be the loudest voices in the room, might be pointing us in the wrong direction, like underneath the surface, we're doing the work that is hopefully meaningful and sustainable, no matter what voice out of Washington's coming out. Like, we're going to continue to show up.
Do you hear that? People saying, can it make a difference at a local level? Can it affect the whole country ultimately?
I mean, I think what we're trying to do here in Oakland is create a model for what real impact looks like.
Through their Eat, Learn, Play Foundation, the Currys have reached 35,000 Oakland students and raised and invested $90 million in the community.
I don't care what your background is, what side of the line or the aisle you sit on, what experiences you've had in your life or what's informed those. Like, at the end of the day, we understand for a kid to have a proper childhood, those three pillars need to be there.
It's going to take the community. It's going to take people locking arms and doing it together. And so I just want to remind, everyone that when we go out to do this community service and these acts of service, it shouldn't be what we're doing. It just needs to become who we are. And I think we'll start to see the change once it just becomes a part of our nature.
A call to service at this divided moment. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Judy Woodruff in Oakland, California.